All right, today we're doing something pretty epic. We're hopping on one of the world's longest domestic flights. We're talking a 5-hour trip, coast to coast, right across the entire Australian continent. So, let's jump right in.
First off, let's just wrap our heads around the scale here. We're talking about a 3,600-kilometer flight. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's basically like flying from London all the way to Cairo. Or think New York City to Salt Lake City. The crazy part? This is all happening within a single country.
This really is an epic coast-to-coast adventure. You lift off from the green, lush East Coast, right there on the Pacific, and then you spend hours flying over this vast red desert. And then you finally touch down on the other side, on the shores of the Indian Ocean. It's quite a journey. Our adventure kicks off on the East Coast, at Brisbane Airport. So let's see what the ground game is like before we even get in the air.
So Brisbane Airport, or BNE as you'll see it called, is not just some small regional airport. No way. This place is a major player in Australian aviation. It's this huge, bustling hub that connects Queensland to, well, the rest of Australia and the entire world.
And you know what? The domestic terminal experience is really good. It's super modern, feels really spacious, and you've got everything you need. Lounges, a bunch of restaurants, and the most important part for any traveler, right? Security. It's smooth, it's efficient, it just sets a really great tone for the start of a pretty long trip. All of that together earns it a really impressive 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, it's pretty clear Brisbane Airport delivers a seriously top-tier experience before you even step on the plane. Okay, so the terminal experience was great. Now it's time to actually get on the plane. And the boarding for this Virgin Australia Boeing 737, it was just what you hope for. Totally organized, super efficient, and honestly, zero hassle. And the good vibes just keep coming once you're on board. The cabin crew gives you a really warm welcome. The interior itself is clean, modern, with that standard 3-3 seating you'd expect. But here's the kicker. The legroom is described as decent. And let me tell you, for a long domestic flight in economy, decent is basically high praise. Now for the main event. We are up in the air, heading west, and you can literally watch the green coastline just fade away and give way to that famous red center. First things first, takeoff is right on schedule, which is always a fantastic start. For those first 15 minutes or so, you get these incredible views of the Brisbane skyline and the Pacific coast. And then, before you know it, about 45 minutes in, you hit that cruising altitude of 36,000 feet, and that's when the real journey begins. And this is where the flight goes from just being a flight to being something truly special. Because once you leave that populated coastline behind you, the world below just changes. It transforms into something else entirely. Suddenly, the view from the window seat isn't just a view. It's the main event. You are flying over the legendary Australian outback. I mean, just picture it. Endless plains of red dirt, the winding skeletal patterns of dry riverbeds, these tiny isolated little mining towns that pop up out of nowhere, and the incredible shimmer of giant salt lakes. It's like a geography lesson from 36,000 feet. And the feeling you get is, well, it's perfectly captured by this idea. It's not just about seeing a desert. It's about finally understanding the immense scale of Australia's interior. I mean, for hours and hours, there is almost nothing man-made down there. Just vastness. Okay, let's fast forward. After almost 5 hours of crossing that incredible, vast landscape, civilization finally starts to creep back into view. We're on our descent into Perth, the capital of Western Australia. And that same efficiency we saw in Brisbane, it's right here on the other side of the country too. The landing is smooth, it's a quick taxi to a modern terminal, and get this, the bags are out within 15 minutes. That's exactly what you want after a 5-hour flight. From there, getting into the city is super easy. So yeah, Perth delivers a really solid arrival experience. We're giving it a very respectable 4 out of 5. It's clean, it's modern, and most importantly, it gets you on your way, fast. So let's put them head-to-head in an airport face-off. You can see both are really modern, efficient hubs for their coasts. Brisbane just edges out Perth with a slightly higher rating, and that's probably because it's a bit bigger and has more facilities. But honestly, both give you a really high-quality travel experience. All right, so we've covered the takeoff in Brisbane, that incredible journey across the outback, and the landing in Perth. So what's the final verdict? Let's break it down. When you look at the whole thing, the picture is pretty clear. The big wins, the super smooth operations, a really friendly crew,
And of course, those absolutely unforgettable views of the outback. On the flip side, the drawbacks are pretty much what you'd expect from economy flying these days. You're probably going to have to buy your own food, and yeah, that seat can start to feel a little tight after 5 hours.
So when we tally it all up, the flight gets a final score of 4 out of 5. And that's a really strong rating. It basically confirms that the highlights, especially that view, just far outweigh any of the minor issues. It's a genuinely comfortable and truly memorable way to cross that huge continent. Which brings us to the big question, right? Is the view actually worth the 5-hour flight? I mean, for most of us, a flight is just a way to get from point A to point B. But on this route, the journey itself really is the main attraction. So, is that one-of-a-kind, bird's-eye view of one of the planet's last great wildernesses worth spending all that time in an economy seat? You know, based on this whole experience, the answer seems to be a pretty resounding yes.